you see, I am going on anything and it's picking the color. I will right click and it will, if I will right click and it will cancel it. If I press Ctrl Z, I will cancel this, and I press Ctrl Z. Like you can also reset the color by here. Like if you accidentally have selected something like some object or some color that you don't want, you can just click on here and it will reset it. And it will also, you can also click on here and it will reset, it will be resetted to the last. So anytime you see this icon here like this, you can click on this to reset to default values. So this is color. To set color, you can use this. And after this is source angle. So source angle determines how the light, how soft is the light. So if this is by default 0.5, if you see here, shadows are little bit sharper, but if I make it 2, then you see the shadow are having noise, a little bit noise now, but the edges of the shadow are little bit blurry. Might make it 5 or maybe 10 or maybe 20. So you can see these shadows are very softer. But in general, like general rule of thumb is you should keep this to 2 at least. Like between 1 or 2 will be good, but never keep it at its default value 0.5. So always keep it 1 or maybe 1.5 or maybe 2, so that the edge of the shadow looks a little bit blurry and it makes a realistic effect, or it gives a realistic effect. This source soft angle, I have never used it and I'm not sure what it is used for, but these values are very helpful: intensity, color, and the source angle. And also what like general rule, or and also like general rule of thumb, I try to avoid using color on the light like this, like any light, whether it's sunlight, point light, spotlight, any light. I never, or I don't try to use this tool for giving a specific color. Instead of that, what I do is I click on this use temperature, and then you can increase the temperature to make it bluish in this direction sunlight, or you can decrease this to make it warmer. So generally for sunlight I use a temperature of 5300, because it will give a little amount of yellowish tint which makes the light similar to the natural world life. So generally either I keep it 5300 or I keep it 5500. This is the maximum value. So every time I'm using, like any point of time I'm using a sunlight or direct sunlight in my scene, I tend to keep the temperature on either 5500 or 5300. You can also keep in between these like 54. If you really need to decrease it further like 5000, yes you can. If you want, you can also use 6000 or 6500. It's up to you. But based on my experience, I always try to use the temperature between 5300 to 5500 on a direction sun to get a little tint of yellow, or to get a little yellowish tint in the scene that makes scene natural. Okay, and this one is same as deleting the sun. So if you delete this sun, it will be gone and it will be not there. But if I press Z, and instead of deleting the sun, if I click on this effect world, then it's switched off. So it will have no effect at all in the scene. It will be same as deleting, but you haven't deleted it yet. And if you want, you can get it back again by just clicking it effect world, and it will start affecting. So this is a very handy tool. And if you switch off this cast shadow, it will not cast shadow. And if you keep it on, then it will be casting shadows. Indirect lighting intensity is how much time, like how many times the light that is coming on the scene and colliding with the object, it's being reflected from the scene, like reflected from the object. So if it's like 3, that means like when the direct light from sun is coming and hitting on the objects, it is again being reflected and then again hitting on another object, and then again after hitting on that, it's being reflected and it's again hitting on another object, And this is called indirect lighting intensity. It is very helpful. Like if you make it 0, like this one, you'll have less GI because light is not bouncing too much, right? But if you make it like 2 or 3, maybe 6, 10, 15, the light is just bouncing 50 times in the scene, and it will make things brighter, and the darker areas will be lighter because light is eventually hitting and coming back, and then it's lighting up that darker area. So but default, just keep on general rule of thumb, keep it 1. But in interior where there is a room and there's just a window in that room, and the sunlight is coming, and if you're not getting enough indirect lighting in the scene, then at that specific point of time you should increase this indirect lighting intensity. This will help you a lot. Volumetric in scattering, like volumetric scattering intensity, I have never used, so I will leave it all. And same as this effect world, it's also there, like this visual rendering, so it will not be rendered in the scene. Either you can just switch off the visibility, or either you can switch off the effect world. It is the generally same. And if we click on this actor hidden in game, so it will be visible here, but whenever we click play or whenever we press G, that actor will be gone, right? So when we press this, when this actor hidden in game is an option, when we click it on and when we click on play, then it will not be available in the game mode, because in here in rendering, what I have done is I have selected actor hidden in game. So when we are in game mode like this one, press G and then this game view is on, it will be there, like effect will be there. But when we play the game, like we are in actually inside game, then the effect of this sunlight or this object will not be there because of this option. So you have to understand that, like when you are actually in game, and if this actor hidden in game is switched on, then it will not be visible. So like an example, if I select this box and then I click on this actor hidden in game, and then what will happen when I am in game mode, that will not be there. As you can see, that is not there. But the moment I press escape and I'm out of the game mode, I can see this. Okay, so this is the use of actor hidden in game. And after that, this is editor build bold scale. So the size, the icon of this object, like when I'm seeing from here, the sun has an icon. Okay, this is called billboard, and if I increase the size, it will increase the size, or it can decrease. Sometimes when you are working in a very tight environment or situation and you want to decrease the billboard size of any object, then you can just decrease it or increase it, and when you click on this, it will reset it. So after this a light mask, source angle, indirect lighting, saturation, shadow exponent, and then use area shadow for stationary. I have not used them a lot, and I don't find them useful in architecture, so we'll skip that. And these are something related to gaming, like coding and all those things, so we'll skip them again. Okay, so I have covered about direction light. Now let's cover point light. So I will delete this direction light now, and I will bring a point light here in the scene. And in point light also, everything goes the same. So this is intensity, this is light color, and now this is attenuation radius. This is something different from the sunlight. So when I press alt and right click and drag my mouse up so that I zoom out, and if I bring, like I drag my mouse back, then I will zoom in. So you are seeing this spherical structure here, and this is called attenuation. This means the maximum extent this point light will have its effect. Okay, so if I increase the intensity, you can see this is affecting until this. But if I reduce the attenuation, you can clearly see the difference of this attenuation. It's very useful when needed, so you should understand its use. And you can combine the effect, like concentrate the effect of any light, or like point light, spotlight, or rectangle light, with help of this attenuation. So if you increase it, it will affect a larger area, and until this sphere is ending, and after this it will not affect the light. Okay, so it's very important. So I will reset this, and then this is source radius. So now point light is emitting from a like very small dot, and light is being emitted in 360 direction, like in every direction point light is emitting light, but the source of the light is very small, like one point. It's emitting light in 360 direction from a source that is size of a point. Just by if you point a, like if you keep a ball pen on the paper and just leave it, like remove, like take it away, it will be called as point. That thing that will be created will be called as point. So it's that small size, and it's emitting light in all direction, in 360 direction actually, and that is called point light. Okay, but if you want that point to have, like to be bigger, and it has to have, like you want to have a specific size of that point, and then it will be emitting light. What this will help is, it will help in softening the shadows of any object. So let me explain here. So I will bring this light near this object, and if we go here in close up, okay, and when this, like the source of light, if the source of light will be very small, then the shadow cast by it will be very sharp. Okay, so since this is only being emitted, the light from the point light is being emitted from a point, and that is a very small object, the source object is very small, that is a point, then the shade, that this then the shadows will be very sharper. But if we increase the source radius, you can see its use. And now here also you can see it's the size, the speed. Like this point light is not a point anymore, it's a surface now, and the surface is larger than the point, and this shadow being cast by the light is dependent on the size, source radius of the light. Okay, so if we make it smaller, then you can clearly see the shadows are becoming sharper. Okay, but if we increase the source radius, the shadow will be softer. So I hope you understand this. And then this soft source radius. Okay, so I have never used basically this one, so we'll skip it. It's never used, and you can ignore it completely. But the source length is something important, but it only plays in like importance in a point light, because if we increase the source length here, you can see here now, then this starts to behave like a tube light. Okay, so this is the light is being emitted from this whole surface now, and it has some radius also, and it has some length also. And now I can just rotate it and keep it like this, and this will be acting as a tube light. So whenever I have something hanging in the roof in my architectural scene, and I want to place a tube light there, I generally use this technique, the source radius and the source length, to simulate the tube light in a scene while I'm lighting, or when I'm doing lighting. So I hope you also understand this. This is the source length, and this is source radius. It's absolutely, both of these parameters are absolutely useful. And let's go to this use temperature. This is same as the earlier, like direction light. You will have to switch on this instead of controlling color from here. If you specifically want some color, like out of the box, then you can use this. But if you want the light color to be behaving naturally depending on the temperature of the light source, then it's always preferred to use this use temperature, because this gives you the realistic value. This is the way in real world lights behave. The color of the lights are depend dependent on the